Long ago, in the depths of old Japan, there existed a majestic underwater realm known as the Kingdom of the Sea. Its ruler was the legendary Rin Jin, the Dragon King, whose dominion stretched across every corner of the ocean. The power he wielded was vast and undeniable, for in his possession were the sacred jewels of the ebb and flow of the tide. When Rin Jin cast the jewel of the ebbing tide into the ocean, the waters would recede, exposing land as far as the eye could see, and with the jewel of the flowing tide, the waves would rise to staggering heights, crashing upon the shores like mountains of water. The palace of Rin Jin lay far beneath the waves, in a world so resplendent that even the grandest human dreams could not compare. Its coral walls shimmered in shades of pink and orange, while the roof gleamed with jade stone and chrysoprase. The floors were made from the finest mother of pearl, so polished that they reflected the light of the sea like a mirror. Yet, for all its beauty and vastness, the Dragon King's palace felt cold and empty, for he had no queen to share it with. Despite his kingdom's vast riches and his unrivaled power, Rin Jin found little joy in his solitude. In his heart, he believed that by marrying, he would not only find happiness, but also solidify his reign. Thus, he summoned his fish retainers, creatures of every shape and size, to his grand court, and commanded them to search the oceans far and wide for a bride worthy of the Sea King's hand. After many weeks, the ambassadors returned to the palace, their mission a success. With them came a young dragon princess, her beauty as radiant as the dawn. Her glittering emerald scales caught the light as she moved, like the wings of a summer beetle reflecting the sun. Her eyes, ablaze with fire, sparkled with life, and her robes were adorned with precious gems from the deepest crevices of the sea. Embroidered threads of gold, silver, and sapphire intertwined with pearls and coral, making her garments shimmer with every step. At the sight of her, Rin Jin's heart swelled with love, and without hesitation, he took her as his bride. Their wedding was an event like no other. Every creature of the sea, from the mighty whales to the tiniest shrimp, gathered to celebrate the union. The waves danced with phosphorescent light, shimmering green and blue as they crashed against the shore, turning the ocean into a field of sparkling fire. The procession of the bride's retinue stretched across the sea as far as the eye could see, each fish carrying lanterns that glowed with an ethereal radiance. For a time, the Dragon King and his new queen lived in bliss. They wandered together through the vast halls of the palace, marveling at its wonders. They swam through gardens of floating seaweed and coral, and explored the hidden depths where the rarest treasures of the sea lay. It seemed as though their happiness would never end, and each day felt like a warm summer's afternoon, where time moved slowly, and joy was in abundance. But after 2 months of unbroken bliss, a shadow fell over their joy. The Dragon Queen grew ill. Day by day, her strength waned, and she soon found herself bedridden. The king, desperate to save his beloved, called upon the greatest fish doctor in the kingdom. He ordered his servants to care for her with the utmost diligence, but no matter how devoted the nurses or how potent the medicine, the queen's condition worsened. Growing frantic, Rin Jin summoned the doctor and demanded an explanation. The doctor, trembling before the king, confessed that he knew of a cure, but feared it was beyond their reach. "My lord," the doctor began cautiously, "the medicine we need cannot be found in the sea." The Dragon King's eyes narrowed. "What is this cure that lies beyond my kingdom?" he demanded. "The only remedy for Her Majesty's illness," the doctor said, "is the liver of a live monkey." Rin Jin's brow furrowed in frustration. A live monkey's liver? That would indeed be difficult to obtain. How are we to find such a creature when we live beneath the waves? The doctor hesitated, then spoke again. "There is an island to the south, known as Monkey Island, where many monkeys live. If we could capture one of these creatures, the queen might yet be saved." The Dragon King paced the coral floors of his palace, deep in thought. "But how can any of my people capture a monkey? We are creatures of the sea, and powerless on land." The doctor bowed his head. "That is the difficulty, Your Majesty. But perhaps, amongst your many servants, there is one who could venture onto dry land for this purpose." Determined to save his queen, Rin-jin called upon his chief steward to consult on the matter. The steward pondered the challenge, his mind racing through the many possibilities, until at last, he smiled with sudden realization. "I have an idea, Your Majesty," he said. "There is one among us who may be able to accomplish this task, the jellyfish, Kurage. Though he may seem frail and transparent, he takes great pride in his ability to move on land with his four legs, much like a tortoise. If anyone can navigate both the water and the shore, it is he." Rin-jin, filled with hope, summoned the jellyfish at once. Though Kurage was indeed an odd-looking creature with his soft, translucent body, he was loyal and eager to serve his king. "Kurage," the Dragon King said, "I have an important mission for you. You must travel to Monkey Island, find a live monkey, and bring it back to the palace. The fate of the queen depends on it." Kurage, puffing up with pride at being chosen for such a critical task, bowed low before the king. "It will be my honor to fulfill your command, Your Majesty. I shall not fail you." And so, the jellyfish set out on his perilous journey to capture a monkey, unaware of the trials and dangers that awaited him on the mysterious island. Upon learning of his unexpected mission, the jellyfish Kurage felt his soft body tighten with anxiety. His eyes, wide with uncertainty, glistened as he addressed the chief steward. "I've never been to this island you speak of, nor have I ever attempted to catch a monkey. I'm afraid I lack the skill to succeed." The chief steward, a seasoned strategist, regarded Kurage with a knowing smile. "Strength and dexterity will not help you in this endeavor, my friend. Monkeys are quick and clever. If you attempt to chase one, you will surely fail. No, the only way to capture a monkey is through wit. You must outsmart it." Kurage frowned, his translucent tentacles curling in confusion. "Outsmart it? But how? I know nothing of tricking monkeys." With a patient sigh, the chief steward leaned in, his voice lowering to a conspiratorial whisper. "Here is what you must do. When you arrive at Monkey Island, approach one of the monkeys with great friendliness. Tell him you are a servant of the Dragon King, and that you've come to extend a personal invitation to visit the Dragon King's magnificent palace beneath the sea. Speak to him of its grandeur, the gleaming coral walls, the jewel-encrusted gardens, the splendor of the sea itself. Describe it so vividly that the monkey's curiosity is piqued, and he becomes desperate to see it for himself." Kurage's concern deepened. "But how will I bring the monkey back? You know that monkeys can't swim." The chief steward gave a soft chuckle. "Use your back, of course. Your shell is strong enough to carry him across the waves." Kurage, ever the cautious one, shifted uneasily. "But won't he be heavy?" "Don't worry about that," the steward replied sternly. "You're on a mission for the Dragon King. You must do whatever it takes." Resigned, but determined to fulfill his duty, Kurage straightened his body and nodded. "I will do my best." With a swirl of his tentacles, he left the palace, propelling himself swiftly through the sea, his translucent body gliding effortlessly beneath the waves. After hours of swimming, the jellyfish reached the shores of Monkey Island. A gentle wave deposited him on the sandy beach, and he gazed around, his delicate body shimmering under the sun. In the distance, a great pine tree stood tall, its branches swaying softly in the breeze. And there, perched on one of the lower branches, was exactly what Kurage sought: a live monkey. The jellyfish felt a spark of hope. "Fortune smiles on me today," he thought. "Now, to charm the creature." Kurage moved cautiously towards the pine tree, his legs back in those days. The jellyfish had 4 sturdy legs like a tortoise carrying him slowly across the shore. He tilted his head upwards and called out, "Good day, Mr. Monkey. What a beautiful morning it is, don't you think?" The monkey, lounging lazily on the branch, glanced down at the odd-looking jellyfish. "A fine day, indeed," he replied, scratching his head. "But who might you be? I've never seen a creature like you around here before." "I am Kurage, a humble servant of the Dragon King," the jellyfish replied, puffing out his chest. "I've traveled far from the Sea Kingdom to visit your beautiful island." The monkey's curiosity was piqued. "The Sea Kingdom, you say? I've heard tales of it, but never thought much about visiting." Kurage saw his opportunity. "Oh, but you must visit. It is a place beyond your wildest imagination. The palace of the Dragon King is a marvel to behold. Coral walls that shimmer like the sunset, gardens of pink and red coral trees that bear fruits as radiant as jewels. The waters are so clear that you can see all the way to the palace gates, and the sea creatures, well, they are wonders in themselves. The monkey's eyes widened as he listened, his curiosity growing with each word. He began to descend the tree, eager not to miss a single detail. "It sounds incredible," the monkey said, "but how could I ever see it? I can't swim, and the sea is vast." Kurage smiled, sensing the monkey's eagerness. "Worry not, Mr. Monkey. I would be honored to carry you on my back. My shell is sturdy, and I can transport you safely across the waves. You'll see wonders no land creature has ever seen before." The monkey, now fully on the ground, hesitated for a moment. "I don't want to trouble you. Surely, I'm too heavy." "Nonsense," Kurage replied confidently. "It will be no trouble at all. I'm stronger than I look. Come, climb on, and we'll set off at once." Eager to see the legendary sea kingdom, the monkey climbed onto Kurage's back. With a gentle motion, the jellyfish slid into the water, his legs moving smoothly through the sea, carrying his passenger toward the depths. As they glided over the waves, Kurage's mind wandered to the mission at hand. He suddenly remembered the key element of his task, the monkey's liver. Curiosity overtook him, and without thinking, he asked, "Mr. Monkey, do you happen to have your liver with you?" The monkey, startled by the odd question, tightened his grip on Kurage's shell. "My liver? What do you need my liver for?" Kurage, oblivious to the tactlessness of his inquiry, responded, "Oh, it's the most important thing. The Dragon Queen is terribly ill, and only the liver of a live monkey can cure her. That's why I'm bringing you to the palace." Realizing the danger he was in, the monkey's heart raced with fear. But being a clever creature, he quickly devised a plan. Masking his terror with a calm voice, he said, "Ah, what a pity, Mr. Jellyfish. If only you had told me sooner. You see, we monkeys have many livers, but I've left mine hanging on a branch of the pine tree. I never carry it with me when I'm climbing. It would have been no trouble to bring it if only I had known." Kurage, startled by this revelation, stopped swimming. "You've left your liver behind?" he asked in disbelief. "Yes," replied the monkey. "I always leave it on the tree when I go out for the day. It's much more comfortable that way. If you take me back to the island, I can fetch it for you." The jellyfish, being rather gullible, believed the monkey's story entirely. "Oh, how unfortunate. I should have mentioned it before we left." Without another thought, he turned around and began swimming back toward Monkey Island, unaware that he was being thoroughly tricked. The jellyfish, utterly disappointed, believed every word the monkey had said. Without a liver, the monkey was useless to him, and his entire mission seemed to be in vain. As they drifted in the waves, Kurage turned to the monkey and spoke in a crestfallen tone. "What now? Without your liver, this trip is pointless." The monkey, ever the quick thinker, feigned remorse. "Oh, dear Kurage, I truly regret all the trouble I've caused you. But don't worry, if you take me back to the place where you found me, I can retrieve my liver in no time. I promise to bring the best one I have." Kurage, though reluctant to backtrack all the way to Monkey Island, was desperate to complete his task. The monkey's reassurances softened his resistance. "Very well," Kurage sighed. "If you'll truly fetch your liver, I suppose we can turn back." With a heavy heart, Kurage changed direction and swam back toward the island, his soft body moving sluggishly as doubt gnawed at him. But as soon as they reached the shore, the monkey leaped off Kurage's back, scurrying up the branches of the pine tree in a flash. Once perched high above, he began swinging through the branches with delight, performing playful flips and capers, as if mocking the jellyfish's trust. "Thank you ever so much for the ride," the monkey called down, his voice thick with sarcasm. "Do give my regards to the Dragon King when you return." Kurage, confused and hurt, looked up at the monkey. "Wait, aren't you coming back with your liver as you promised?" The monkey's laugh echoed through the trees, filled with mischief. "My liver? Why would I give you my liver? It's far too valuable to me. I was just tricking you the whole time, Kurage. Did you really think I'd sacrifice myself so easily? Stunned by the monkey's audacity, Kurage stammered, But you promised. The monkey laughed even harder, swinging from one branch to another. Oh, that promise? It was a lie, jellyfish. I never intended to give you my liver. If I had gone with you to the Sea King's palace, I'd have lost my life for sure. But instead, I've outwitted you, and now I'm safe at home. Come and get my liver if you can, but I doubt you'll have any luck. Kurage's heart sank as he realized the truth. He had been deceived, and there was nothing he could do. His mission had failed. Slowly, with his spirit crushed, he turned away from the island and began the long swim back to the Dragon King's palace, his translucent body heavy with shame. Behind him, the mocking laughter of the monkey rang out, taunting him as he disappeared beneath the waves. By the time Kurage reached the sea palace, the Dragon King, the doctor, and all the palace servants were anxiously waiting for him. As they saw him approaching, they rushed out to greet him, their faces filled with hope. "You've returned," they cried. "Thank you for your efforts. Where is the monkey?" Kurage, trembling with dread, knew there was no avoiding the truth. He lowered his head and recounted the entire ordeal, how he had convinced the monkey to come with him, only to foolishly reveal the secret of his mission halfway across the sea. He told them how the monkey had tricked him into turning back, falsely claiming that he had left his liver behind, and how the clever creature had escaped upon reaching the island. The Dragon King's face darkened with fury. His eyes glowed with anger as he realized the jellyfish had failed in his task. "You simpleton," he roared. "How dare you fail in such an important mission?" In his rage, the Dragon King decreed that Kurage must be severely punished for his foolishness. "Remove his bones," he commanded. "Let him suffer for his stupidity." Kurage's entire body quaked in terror. He pleaded desperately for mercy, his voice trembling with sorrow. "Please, Your Majesty, forgive me. I beg you, spare me." But the Dragon King's judgment was absolute. The palace servants, loyal and unyielding, brought out sticks and surrounded Kurage. One by one, they removed every bone from his body, leaving him a soft, helpless mass. Then, without mercy, they beat him flat until he was nothing but a shapeless pulp. Finally, they dragged him beyond the palace gates and cast him back into the sea, where he drifted away, battered and broken. Kurage floated aimlessly in the water, his once proud body reduced to a boneless, gelatinous form. Left to suffer and repent his naivety, he slowly adapted to his new state, learning to live without the strength of his shell and bones. He no longer resembled the jellyfish he had once been, and from that day on, all his descendants would be soft and boneless, their legacy marked by the punishment of their ancestor. And so, it is said that this is why jellyfish, once creatures with shells and bones like tortoises, became the soft, boneless creatures we see today, cast ashore by the waves of Japan. Moral: deception and carelessness can lead to serious consequences. It's important to think before you act, as trusting blindly or speaking too much can result in unintended harm. The question is, why didn't Kurage, the jellyfish, attempt to find and trick another monkey after failing with the first one before returning to meet the Dragon King? The answer is, Kurage, the jellyfish, likely didn't try to find and trick another monkey for a few reasons. 1. Naivety and lack of wit. Kurage was portrayed as somewhat naive and not particularly clever. After being tricked by the first monkey, he may have lacked the cunning to devise a new plan. His simple nature made him an easy target for deception, and it didn't occur to him that he could try again with a different monkey. 2. Fear of the Dragon King's wrath. Having already failed his mission, Kurage might have been overwhelmed by fear of the Dragon King's anger. He likely thought it best to return quickly and report what happened rather than risk further failure or delay. 3. Exhaustion and discouragement. Kurage had already made a long and tiring journey to capture the first monkey, only to be tricked. The mental and physical exhaustion, combined with his disappointment, may have discouraged him from trying again. 4. Loyalty and guilt. Kurage may have felt loyal to the Dragon King and guilty for not succeeding. His sense of duty may have compelled him to report the failure honestly, hoping that his loyalty would be recognized, despite the mistake. Ultimately, Kurage's lack of foresight and fear of the consequences likely prevented him from attempting another trick before returning to the Dragon King.